Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and good Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right?
I think so.
I mean, after my marathon last night and into the morning, you have to check yourself. But anyway, good Tuesday out there to everybody. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz here, and we're glad that you've joined us here on your lunch hour. The week of the 4th of July, I know a lot of you are out and planning things, and this might be the last day you try to do a little work this week. Maybe you're going to try to ease on into.
No, here's what I can promise you. Go get you a sign business. And I can assure you that you won't be drifting into anything. Now, if you want to drift, go get a government job.
That's it.
I'm convinced if you can get you a government job, they don't know whether you're there or not tomorrow.
Sometimes. No doubt. Well, somebody's got to be there to know that you're there, right?
Man.
But anyway, we hope all of you have a great and happy 4th of July, safe week leading up. And, again, we have some programming notes here just for all of you out there. We will have a show tomorrow. But we will not have a show, obviously, Thursday and Friday. We'll be back with you on Saturday morning for Saturday Sports Countdown. So a little programming note there for all of you out there. Our program brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College. Tonight, Ambush will make its way to Auburn. Lake Martin at Willow Point. Excited for that. Sold out in 48 hours, Randy. There'll be over 300 people at Willow Point Golf and Country Club to welcome Coach Freeze and Coach Pearl, to hear their thoughts, to fundraise, to raise money for the scholarship fund for Lake Martin Auburn Club. Auburn, I'm proud of it. This club has risen in the ranks of one of the more popular, one of the more powerful Auburn clubs here in the country. So, but we've got a lot of good people at work. Great kids that receive these scholarships every year from our local area, and should be a fun night. I've had a lot of people calling and asking about tickets. Those things have been long gone. So we're looking forward to having Coach Pearl, Coach Freeze tonight.
Yeah, I know that you and many on the board really work hard on making sure this is a quality event. It's been going on for quite some time, about a decade now. It feels like
it has,
and it is always a great turnout. Every year it feels like there's something new that's brought out that people enjoy and want to continue with. And, we're blessed to be in a community that has a whole lot of Auburn alumni with many with some deep pockets that want to give. And we also are blessed as a community to have a lake here that just about every coach on the coaching staff there at Auburn University wants a piece of that lake.
Past and present.
They have, and it's always been important to them. And so they have shown love back to our community due to that, and we have done the same for a lot of those coaches out there. So it should be a wonderful night. I know that you and Justin Clayton have been working hard to put a little content together that will be presented out there tonight. I know Lee Williams does a tremendous job. We had Lee on the program with us a couple of Saturdays ago to talk about the national championship run for Auburn Golf. Lee has always offered up a lot of his time and a lot of his effort to make sure that the golfing community down there on Lake Martin at Willow Point Golf and Country Club knows how important that Auburn University is to that country club. And, that's one thing when I've been in the past that I've been blown away by is, how much there seems to be those two entities working together on making sure that both know how much they're appreciated.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you said it best there. And just a lot of good people that love Auburn, like you said, that come together and work hard. Neil Butler, the president of the board, Neil's done a great job. I know Larkin Radney was the president prior to him, and he really kind of put his stamp on getting things kind of cranked back up in this area, and in a club that had gone dormant. And again, a club that is this close in proximity to Auburn needs to be an active club. So it's risen to the ranks. Ambush twice in Texas, and then once in Auburn, and then I mean, once in Lake Martin and then another one I can't remember off the top of my head, but that just kind of tells you how. I mean, you don't. There's only 4 of them a year that they go on these traveling tours, and we had one several years ago. And now Ambush is back in conjunction with what we do.
Well, let me jump in. You know, I know that you were on a trip with the Board of Education down south, and you and I talked a good bit this past Saturday about some of the things that you heard down there. And, you know, I want to jump in there on why would you choose Lake Martin? Well, the Lake Martin area has become home to a large majority of the Southeast, if not the country, that has found their way onto this lake.
That's right.
If they haven't found their way onto this lake, they want to. And much of that is due to the great vision of Russell Lands and others that this event will be held at tonight.
Right.
But, you know, I do bring that up. You know, you may go, why would they choose small community like Alexander City, Lake Martin, the Dayville area? I kind of combine all of us together.
Right.
And it makes great sense to me. I mean, when I go to an event down at, say, Catherine's Market, if I know 8 or 10 people, that's a high number. And you may say, well, that's not good if you grew up around here and you used to go to events 25, 30 years ago and you'd know everybody. And I can argue with you, no, that is great. That's how much this community has become known throughout the country. And so I know that we're happy to have Auburn here. And
Oh, yeah.
you and I are 2 proud Auburn alumnus, but we're not the only ones on that lake that are.
No doubt, no doubt. And again, just a stronghold, and glad that, you know, we have a club that has grown. And just got a comment from Mike, said, how much does it cost to join the club? It don't cost anything. That's the beauty about joining the Auburn Lake Martin Club, is that we don't have a lot of functions. But we have a couple throughout the year, and you purchase tickets to come to that. But you can register at the website, the Auburn Lake Martin website. So, yeah, we encourage people to be involved. You can donate money to the sky. The whole point, and we do this, and we'll move on from this because we got a ton to talk about. But the main point of us doing this is to generate scholarship funds, the Red Phillips Scholarship that we have, because Red Phillips is from right here in Alexander City, and several other scholarships that we've been able to establish and endow over the last several years, so we can have you know, a long-standing line of kids that receive scholarships that are going to Auburn. So that's the whole point. You know, yeah, this is all the fun part of it. But and you know, Coach Pearl living and having a house on Lake Martin, and Hugh Freeze as well, really makes it convenient. They want to be here. They're frequent to this area, and we're blessed to have the 2 head coaches, and then of course again, Coach Kleinert is a frequent visitor to Willow Point and Wicker Point down there, and he's got a national championship under his belt now, and what a pleasure it was the last couple months to have him on the show twice, and just a really, really humble guy. Glad to have him as our
Well, we've had
coach.
the good fortune of bringing him up in some other conversations that we've had around the state with our AHSAA activity and some sponsors, some bigger sponsors that we have, and they can't say enough good things about him.
Right.
And when you end up in a conversation about someone and they're not there, and they don't know that you know them, and you don't know that they know them, and all of a sudden he comes up, he's doing something right.
He's doing something right.
He's impacting a whole lot of people. So I know that you and I have nothing but great things to say about him. There's been times in the past, and I'll be the first to say it, that you know, we've reached out and tried to embrace many people there at Auburn University, and many times it hasn't been reciprocated whatsoever. That athletic department at times has been next to impossible to deal with. They've had some people there that I don't think too highly of, and I don't mind saying that here on this camera. But, you know, today it feels a little different.
It does.
It feels like people do embrace wanting to be, you know, part of programs like ours that are trying to spin a positive message towards the university. And Coach Kleiner and others are very much appreciated by us and the surrounding area for, you know, giving of their time so that we can promote their program.
Let me just say this, too. And again, we have a daily Auburn show Monday through Friday. There's not another one in this state. We're right here beside Auburn. Why wouldn't you embrace this program? You know, that's the question you and I have asked a bunch. You know, we call it like we see it. You know, there's goods and bads, but I mean, like you said, nobody wants Auburn to be successful more than us. It's why we do a 5-day-a-week program to promote Auburn athletics. But like you said, I think things have changed, changing of the guard. people in new positions down there. Very open arms now, and we're glad of that. We want it to be that way. A lot to discuss today. I will dive into some needs on the defensive side of the football for Auburn. We'll kind of see where Auburn stands currently with some commitments and how many they want to take at each position or kind of anticipate. Got Big Cat Weekend, Randy, coming up at the end of this month. We remember last year was a massive weekend for Auburn in recruiting. They garnered Perry Thompson. They got Malcolm Simmons. There were a lot of things that came to fruition from that weekend, and Auburn kind of caught momentum to head into National Signing Day, and that put Auburn where they were and where they finished. So a lot of big visitors will be coming back. We hope there's even some more that haven't really officially said they're going to be there, and you never know. I think the goal is to try to get 1 to 2 big guys to commit during that weekend and then maybe start a flood going down the stretch.
Well, all you can ask for is effort. We've said that for, I guess 4 years now following the Gus Malzahn era. I thought Coach Malzahn did a tremendous job of, trying to get the word out and recruiting. Right. And Gene Chizik, even before that, he started this Big Cat Weekend. And, it's carried on. It's a great idea. And it's worked out well for Auburn to carry this on. So Hugh Freeze and his staff's working hard. I don't sit around and wonder. I wonder if we're putting in as much effort as the school across the state or the one right across the border that are our two big-time rivals. I wonder if we're working as hard as them. I don't have that question anymore at all. I think that, if anything, we're having to outwork them to try to catch up to where they are.
Yeah, we're behind. So when you're behind, you got to put extra effort in. And it's hard to put extra effort in against guys that work 18, 20 hours a week. It's only 18, a day. There's only 24 in a day. So, but this staff is doing that, no doubt about it. Up against our first break. Stay tuned. More to come here on the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tritoons and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City or online at alexcitymarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
Are you ready to save big on a new GMC?
At Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, you can own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA. The GMC Sierra pickup is discounted up to $14,500 off. The roomy and comfortable GMC Terrains are up to $8,250 off. And the GMC Acadias with 3 spacious rows and seating for 7, discounted up to $8,000 off. At Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika,
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation. At Central Alabama Community College, the phone number to call the show is 256-234-6221. We'd love to hear from you. You can comment away on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. Go out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done that yet. We'd love to have you do that, and you can kind of set your phone for an alert. I get it every day, obviously. I mean, of course, we're on the show, but even when I'm not on the show, if I'm out and busy and kind of involved in something, the notification pops up on my phone for Facebook and YouTube when the show comes on the air. And it's a good reminder. I mean, anything that you have out there that you want to watch or listen to, set it to a reminder, and it'll come on and it'll be there for you. All right, Randy, let's look at yesterday was the first official day that Texas and Oklahoma joined the SEC. So it was kind of a unique day that the SEC expands officially with Texas and Oklahoma. Coach Venables was interviewed in a Chris Lowe article on ESPN.com, and this is what he had to say about the SEC. And, again, I'll say this before I read the quotes. When you're outside of the SEC and you're trying to compete against the SEC, you want to talk about how you're comparable and how the SEC is not as good as everybody says it is, and you want to try to show that, hey, we've got a program comparable to anything the SEC puts out. But when you enter the SEC, the truth comes out. The actual truth of how you felt about that conference comes out, and I think this is perfect with what Brent Venables said. He said, basically the narrow margin playing for a championship in this league to be in middle of the road. He said, let's look at Auburn for an example. And he was using Auburn from last year. He said, you look at a team like Auburn, they were 6-7 last year, but they take a number 1 Georgia team to the last drive of the game and rush for more than 200 yards. Then late in the year, Alabama throws a Hail Mary in the end zone to beat them. Those are 2 games that sort of tell you what the SEC is. Auburn played really close games against the 2 teams that played for the SEC championship, and Alabama made the playoff. Auburn finished somewhere in the middle of the conference. I've never been in a league where you've got to play the depth of the teams we will play every single week. You don't concede anything, but in the same breath, you have tremendous respect for what is going on or what it takes to be successful. If he would have still been in the Big 12, he wouldn't have said that. Now that he's in now he's in the SEC, the truth comes out. And that's what everybody really thinks about the SEC. And he's right. Auburn was 6-7, and they took the best 2 teams in the league. And I know it's an outlier sometimes because we had both of them in Auburn. But still, we put that on the field. It took Georgia scoring with 3 minutes to go in the game to win the game, and it took Alabama throwing a Hail Mary up in the end zone to pull out a miracle. So he's right in that breath.
Yes, he is. But it's also the same conversation you and I had on this program last week when we discussed what's the hardest stadiums in this country to play in. And I said Jordan-Hare deserves to be very, very high because you look at the difference between the way Auburn plays in that place and the way they play anywhere away from that place and in a neutral site. You know, you look at Alabama and Georgia and you try to determine whether Athens and Tuscaloosa is a great home field environment. Who the heck knows? They beat everybody's brains in whether they're there or on the road. But Auburn can take the two best teams in the country consistently and bring them into Jordan-Hare Stadium, and that's how tough of an environment that is, and play over their head. Here's something my old man always told me when I'd get disappointed. You know, when you and I were in school, we lost a whole bunch of really close games, deep in playoffs against teams that we were as good as, but we weren't any better. And he said the problem with not being really, really good and being good is you can't play down a little bit. You can't have a bit of an off day and win games. And he said, unfortunately, and these were some games that we lost, including, say, a baseball game that was real important to us that we lost. He said, y'all weren't a lot better. Y'all might have been able to play them 5 or 6 times and win 3 or 4 of them, but they're going to win a couple too. So here's my point, though. Take the Kentucky game on the road with Cam Newton. Cam Newton willed himself to that win in 2010 for Auburn to win that championship. If you take that guy off of the field or you take that team away, then you never have that opportunity to play. And unfortunately, right now for us, we're just not that much better than teams when we don't play well. But when we play great, we can play with anybody, and I think that's what Brent Venables is saying there.
Oh, that's right.
Is if you don't play great, unless you have Georgia and Alabama talent, and even when you have Georgia and Alabama talent, you can lose in the SEC from time to time.
That's exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that has been across the board for many decades. It's a brutal conference. And, you know, things have changed mentality-wise with these kids. Back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, kids got scholarships to go play to get an education, and they were so thankful for the opportunity to get a chance to have their college paid for. They were so loyal to that school. You would hear the guys like Kurt Crane and Tucker Frederickson say they'd run through a brick wall for Auburn University. They truly meant that because it gave them an opportunity they otherwise may not have had. You know, a lot of kids may not have been able to afford to go to school, go further their education. A lot of them were first-time generation, first person in their whole family to ever go to college. It's different now, man. I'm not saying that all kids don't care, but they don't come to Auburn. They don't go to Alabama because, you know, Alabama's giving them an opportunity to earn education. Now, a lot of them will go on and earn it, but the majority of these big-name athletes are coming because who's giving me the best deal?
And who's given me the reason they have chosen Alabama up to this point. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason they're going to choose them moving forward, but they have chosen Alabama up to this point.
Well, they're proven.
They could go and win championships.
They're proven, yeah.
And they had a great opportunity to go to the NFL and make a whole boatload of money
There's
once
no
they
question,
get there.
no
So they
question
had that to sell.
Right.
Now you got to add in the dynamic of also what are you going to get during these 3 or 4 years that you're there. And that's a dynamic that Nick Saban decided not to play anymore. And I think that's the exact reason he decided not to play it.
How has Auburn fared against Oklahoma and Texas in multiple sports? We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters. Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dayville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College. Halfway through our program, look, do what I'm doing. Go to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine and let them cater your 4th of July. We got a couple of different times we're going to get together this week with family and celebrate the 4th of July. And one of those events is going to be catered by Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Ribs, baked beans, potato salad, the whole 9 yards, Randy. We've had them. You know how good they are. You were just down there, bought some steaks. Their food is outstanding, and they'll be open right up until the 4th. Obviously, they'll take that day off. They'll be back open on the 5th, and then they'll take off the first part of next week to kind of give the employees a little bit of a break. But make sure you go check out Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. You still have time to place your order, whether it's burgers, whether it's steaks, whether it's ribs. They got a full array of things that you can pick from, and they can cook it for you, so you can pick it up hot and ready to go, or they can have it all prepared where you can cook it yourself. So make sure you check them out, Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine in Montgomery, out at Pepper Tree, or in Auburn on East Glen. Auburn in the past against Texas and Oklahoma, how have they fared? Not a ton of matchups in every sport, but enough to talk about. In football, Auburn is 3-5 all time against Texas, and only 2 meetings against the Sooners, Auburn is 0-2, the last one being in that 2016 Sugar Bowl with a 35-19 win. Baker Mayfield leading that Oklahoma Sooner team. Sean White goes down the field and scores, breaks his arm. And that was pretty much the breaking of Auburn at that point. So only a couple of times that Auburn has played them, and then played them again in 1972 there. So remember the last time Auburn played?
Got our brains beat in, by the way.
Yeah, no question.
You ever gone back and watched that?
I have, unfortunately.
That was men amongst boys in that game, and that was a great Auburn football team. Don't let me take anything away. They had kind of had a little stretch there at the end of the season where it didn't go our way after that win at Georgia, and Sullivan winning the Heisman.
Right.
Beasley having the game that he had over in Athens in Georgia, and then losing against Alabama, and then matching up. And I've gone back and watched, and that was when the wishbone was a wishbone.
Oh, yeah.
And if you didn't match up and physically could keep up with the running backs, and had a great running quarterback then too, then they could lean on you and make it ugly, and they did that game.
They sure did. And then the last time Auburn and Texas played was in 91 out in Austin. Auburn won that game. Was a low-scoring game. I think Auburn won, I'd have to go pull it up, maybe 13-7 was the final score. I remember us scoring, I think Fred Baxter was the tight end that scored the first touchdown in that game. I'm trying to jog my memory. It's been a long time. But scored that, and it was kind of a defensive, just like a Pat Dye type team, a defensive struggle there with Texas. I was at the game where the last one we won in Auburn. Had Eric Metcalf. Well, we blew them out. I think we beat them 31-3.
My brother, I tell you,
I knew where this one was going.
Yeah, my brother got lost in the stadium that day, and they came on the. I think that my dad and I were sitting there, and somehow he got lost, and then he ends up asking somebody. And he's young. He's probably 8, 9, 10 years old at this stretch, and it came over the loud with the family of Greg Lee.
Greg Lee.
And I looked over. I said, "You think that's him?" And he said, "No, it can't be." Sure was. And he might knows my brother knows that that could have happened, and it did. But
so that's your memory of Auburn, Texas.
Yeah, I do. I remember it real well.
But yeah, that was a big time win there for Auburn. So Auburn won the last two matchups there against Texas. Auburn will play Oklahoma in Jordan-Hare Stadium. It'll be Oklahoma's first road trip in the SEC. Hopefully Auburn's undefeated. They should be at that point. And that should be a fun game with the Sooners rolling into Jordan-Hare for the first time ever.
I think it's a massive one. They've got all kinds of ticket packages that you can go and get, and every time they put those packages together, it's usually 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, the little mini package, the mini seasons.
They're having a tough time closing out deals on all of those, but then the big games like the Georgia and Alabamas and Oklahoma, of course, in this year's package is not one that you're going to get with that mini. So a lot of people are excited about that, and I expect Oklahoma's going to travel really well.
Of course, they've never been here before.
Yeah.
So they've got a rabid fan base, and they'll be here with bells on for sure. All right, men's basketball. Auburn 1-1 all time against Texas, and they're 2-1 against Oklahoma. The first matchup in Auburn men's basketball history against Texas came all the way back in 1911. While the Sooners have been more a common opponent of late, Auburn handled Oklahoma back in 2022, the SEC Big 12 Challenge, with an 86-68 victory. While the Sooners won a neutral floor during the 16-17 season. Auburn will first travel to Texas this coming season. We just talked about that. That should be a fun matchup. Should be a fun trip. Be a fun trip for people to go out there because a lot of you aren't going to be getting into the Duke game, okay, unless you want to take out a small loan. So the Texas trip might be a fun one. And the Sooners will head to Neville Arena in 25-26 season.
Did we play Oklahoma in the late 80s, Mookie Blaylock, King, that crew for Oklahoma that was so good, scored so many points. Tubbs, I think, was their coach. Did we play them in the Sweet 16?
Well, if we did, we had to have beat them because we're only 2-1 against them.
Maybe I'm off.
So
Maybe I'm thinking of them playing someone else during that time frame.
Yeah, we lost to them, obviously, in 16 and 17, and we beat them back in 2022. So we beat them some other time. We had one more win against them at some point, but that would be a big win if we'd beat that team. I don't think we did. Baseball, you talk about two programs historically are just very, very good in baseball. Texas, though, Auburn is 2-0-1 against the Longhorns, and against Oklahoma, not so much. 1-6 all time against the Sooners in baseball. So Tigers have fallen a couple times to Oklahoma over the past few seasons. Most recently at the Texas Rangers Stadium. I remember that game, non-conference invitational back in the 22 season. Auburn looking to try to get off the snide. We're going to have many more opportunities to take on Oklahoma to try to help that record out. Right now, 1-6 all time against the Sooners in baseball. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
The only thing real in this video is the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. This restaurant, it's a green screen. The ground I'm walking on, it's a treadmill. Me? I'm not Mr. Beast.
I'm Chandler. Go get the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. It has Feastables.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
The only thing real in this video is the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. This restaurant, it's a green screen. The ground I'm walking on, it's a treadmill. Me? I'm not Mr. Beast.
I'm Chandler. Go get the new Mr. Beast box at Zaxby's. It has Feastables.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. A couple segments left in today's show, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, Central Alabama Community College, talking about Auburn versus Texas and Oklahoma in previous matchups throughout multiple sports. One of those losses back in football for Auburn was in 1983 at home, matched up the number 3 Texas Longhorns against the number 5 Auburn Tigers. Auburn's only loss in 1983 is, as you know, Auburn went on to win the Sugar Bowl against Michigan and be in the conversation for a national championship, and end up kind of getting hopped over by, was it Miami that hopped them? Auburn loses that game 20-7. Bo scores a touchdown with about a minute and a half to go in the game to give Auburn its only score. So 20-0 at half for Texas. I was kind of going back and looking at some of these statistics of that game. It's pretty even. You know, Auburn had 15 first downs, Texas with 14. It was 136 rushing yards for Texas, for 130 for Auburn. 266 total yards for Texas, 227 for Auburn. Auburn had 2 turnovers, though, that were very costly in that game. And Randy, like you and I said, if you look down and the headline on one of these articles said Texas routs Auburn 20-7, you wouldn't consider that a rout anymore. That's less than 2 touchdowns from being a win for a team. But back then, 20-7 was a blowout.
Football has changed so much, even from when you and I were in school. You know, I think back to close games and so many important games that we had, and they were 10-7, 13-10, 7-0, 7-4. I mean, these type of scores now would be.
Oh God, you'd be like, what's wrong?
What happened? I mean, y'all got to clearly change up what you're doing offensively, and you got to go find a coordinator.
We'll ever say a 3-2 game like we did against Mississippi State.
Well, I mean, you could randomly, but my point is that was the norm back then.
It was,
and so a 20-7 really had gotten away from.
You played very conservative.
Yes.
You played defensive ball. The priority was placed on defense. And some, and Pat Dye was one, terrified of the forward pass.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if he even got a semblance of a lead, you talking about shutting her down. Shut it down 3 yards and cloud of dust and punt. We know several high school coaches. They ain't going to throw it much more than about 8-9 times in a game. Ain't going to put the ball in there. You know, the old adage, 3 things can happen when you throw the football and 2 of them are bad. Those old school coaches were not going to throw the football. They're going to hand it to a guy like Bo Jackson or any type of big-time running back and get behind that offensive line and see if you can break a long run and, and actually hope the other team turns the football over like we did that day. Make a few mistakes, set up short field. Ty said, I was at the game in Austin in 1984 when Bo separated his shoulder. When Jerry Gray tackled him, Auburn lost that game 35-27. So there's all the losses there or a couple of the losses there for Auburn.
That was a tough 2-year stretch for Auburn. You had the 84 season where you had the injury to Bo, very highly ranked going into that season. May have been number 1, best I remember.
Right.
And then the 85 season, again, Auburn ranked real high. Was it the 85 season that we went to Tennessee, and when I tell you we got beat so bad that, I mean, really like 35-7 or something. I think we were ranked number 1 in the nation. going into that ball game, and it was not pretty. And I do remember that one at 8 or 9 years old, whatever age I was during that time. I remember that loss like it was yesterday, and that was a bad one for Auburn. But 84 and 85 were not, even though you had Bo, and even though Bo wins the Heisman Trophy in 85, you had a number of really tough losses during that, and he fought through injuries.
He
a
was
lot
hampered
of that
with
season.
injuries.
And then you have the run from 86 to 89 that was about as good as Auburn's ever been.
Yeah, Pat Dye had Auburn at the top of the SEC. And, again, an outlier game here or there kept Auburn from really getting more trophies.
Well, same mentality, though.
Yep.
9 to 6 games.
Yep.
Games where, we either lost them late or never got run out of the gym that I remember.
In 88, you go down to Death Valley and lose that daggum thing. So.
Well, and 9 to 7, and they score a touchdown late.
Right.
With a pass.
Well, 7 to 6.
Was it 7 to 6?
Lost 7-6. Had a 6-0 lead the whole daggum game. And boy, I'm talking about squatted down on a ball. It was like trying not to get a first down so they can punt and let LSU. And LSU just said, dadgummit, we about to open it up on this last drive, and they threw the ball and went right down the field, and that's the earthquake game. So crazy. Sportz Blitz, I'm assuming, is Luke, because I don't think Sportz Blitz has an uncle named Tony Robinson or a cousin named Tony Robinson. He said in '85 at the UT game that was his uncle, his cousin. Tony Robinson was the quarterback for Texas back in 1985.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Did not.
Sportz Blitz Luke. I did not know that. So that's interesting. Very, very, very good fact there to pass along. But it just tells you, I mean, Auburn, you had that game, and then you get in the Sugar Bowl, and, it's Deion Sanders picks one off, and then you get to go and play Syracuse. And I don't blame Pat Dye for doing the tie there, because it was 4th and 17, 18, he wasn't going to get that. And Pat Dye said, well, we ain't come all the way down here just to hand y'all the daggum national championship. We about to kick a field goal and go home, and everybody's going to be pissed off. And that's it. They walked out of the stands, and Tennessee, not Texas. And he said, me and Tony ain't cousins. So
no, I don't think they share the same skin complexion.
He's being funny. So, but you go back to some of these games in the late 80s, from 86 to 89, you go back to the Florida State game at Auburn. Was it 87 that they just came down to Auburn and just beat 34 to 6. Mm-hmm. National TV, CBS, just crazy. So, it just makes you wonder. There was always one game. Tuberville had that problem too. From 04 went undefeated, but 05, 06, 07, the Arkansas, just couldn't. Georgia, a bad Georgia team came in that morning. Man, it's crazy. So, all right, up against the final break of the show. One final segment coming up right after this.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
At Majestic Caverns, we believe in the power of unforgettable experiences. At a cool 60 degrees year-round, America's most historic caverns guarantees an enjoyable escape. But it doesn't stop there. With over 20 above-ground attractions, including 5 new ones this year, and our Cave Cafe, which offers delicious drinks and plenty of food options. And don't miss our exciting event, Libertas. On June 29th, July 6th, and July 13th, enjoy live entertainment and much more. At Majestic Caverns, your unforgettable adventure awaits.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Announcing Camping World's Inflation Buster camping program. You can now get into a new RV starting at just $98 a month. We won't let the economy steal your camping season. Take advantage of this very limited time offer and lock in your low monthly payment today.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Catch a ride, not a buzz.
Hey, can you come get me?
Being buzzed still counts. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Let me clear something up here for just a second on this back and forth. Yes, Tony Robinson that played QB at Tennessee. We were talking about Texas, most that I could remember during this segment. And Luke, you got family in Austin, Texas. I'm thinking, well, dadgum, you may have had a cousin out. I didn't know it may have been another Tony playing for Texas. I didn't keep up with Texas football in 1985. So I'm thinking, dang, he kept a dadgum secret from us all the time. He had a cousin that played for Texas, and it was Tennessee, and he was talking about the other Tony Robinson. So anyway, in my defense, Luke does have family out in Austin, Texas. I'm thinking, man, that may be a cool fact we've never heard of before. But anyway, we'll move on. And to clear up something, Ty said Oklahoma in '87, we lost to them 107. Yeah, 107 to 87. I won't blame Andy, but I'll blame Andy. Had the record wrong right here.
Mookie Blaylock, Stacey King.
That's right.
Tubbs was a coach.
We had a good run there. We had a good basketball team.
Real good basketball team.
Next year we had on that team we had Chris Morris. Mm-hmm. I think the next year
he was there too. The next year
went there to the Sweet 16 and ended up losing was it North Carolina?
My memory's pretty good, but it's not that good.
Okay, anyway, I don't remember either. But one of those years we played Indiana. And
they won it in '87.
Well, we didn't play them then in '87.
I was just telling you.
I know. Well, they did, but something's off there too because
Steve Alford.
Oh yeah, Scott Blake that's on the show with us. He was in the pep band. He traveled to that game.
Okay.
So remember seeing Bobby Knight and the crew up there, but he tells that story. Yeah, very good Indiana team, and we played them, I think, in Indiana. We were right up there beside him. So it was packed, and Indiana was at its height. Of course, we roll up in
Indianapolis, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know if it's Indianapolis, but then, it's like Auburn going to play Syracuse in 2001. Literally the week after 9/11, when the entire world was like, we pulling for New York, it don't matter, the whole world. And who drew that one? We had to go up there and
By the way, I think I noticed yesterday that Dwight Freeney,
yep.
got his gold jacket.
Hall of Fame.
NFL Hall of Famer. I think I saw.
He had a Hall of Fame.
Did I see that right? I think I saw a tweet come across where one of his kids kind of opened the box. And
Okay, yeah.
The jacket in there.
You
I don't know how all of that set up.
Undersized defensive end.
Oh, we ain't blocked him yet.
Dude, I ain't never seen anything. He came off the end just
great NFL player too.
Right.
Just great football player.
Yep. AU lost in the round of 32 in Indianapolis to Indiana that year. So
in
which
87?
year? Yeah, it'd have to be. Well, it can't be 87 unless Ty's got his date wrong. So anyway, one of those years we lost in. I know we played them and lost, and that's part of it. All right, let's finish up here real quick. Softball, man, you talk about a juggernaut. Oklahoma rolls into the league. We had Jason Caldwell on the show a few weeks ago, and he talked about maybe the toughest of all of these sports now is softball. And that's saying a mouthful. Oklahoma wins another national championship. Auburn's 2-8 all time against them. Played them in the College World Series final a few years ago and split those first two games. Came down to that game 3 and ended up losing that. Auburn's 1-1 against Texas in softball. Women's basketball, Auburn is 1-0 against Texas and 1-0 against the Sooners, so not very many matchups there. Kind of closing out here, Randy, I told everybody at the beginning of the show we'll talk a little bit about some recruiting, some important positions on the defensive side of the ball. Where does Auburn stand right now? And I'll try to run through these real quick. I won't go into any specifics. But Auburn looking at needing at least 4+ defensive linemen in this class. Currently they have 2, Jordan Crawford and Malik Autry committed. You and I have been talking about Malik Autry, what a dominant player he is. He just got recently bumped up to a 5-star composite by 24/7. Phenomenal player. But Auburn's got 2. They're looking at 4+. So
well, unfortunately for us, you and I
we
get to match up. Benjamin Russell playing Opelika again, first game of the season, and you got that wildebeest right across. And he has impressed me so much with just film of him manhandling. And I know they don't have pads on, and I know there's double teams and things that you can do to negate, but he is a perfect size nose tackle. He is like the epitome of what you look for. He's listed at 6'6". Sometimes I see him at 6'5.5", which tells me he's 6'5".
You know, Auburn's been able to go into Opelika and get some big-time defensive tackles.
They have that have played well in the past. Zach Clayton being one, T.J. Jackson, Tez Doolittle being one. But this is the best version of any of those from
they
size.
weren't 5 stars. Now, this guy's a 5-star.
This kid's clearly 6'5", 320, 330, got a motor.
He's so fast off the snap. The film that I've seen of him, that's the thing that's impressive to me the most is his first move off the snap. And he's very quick. And if he gets that guy his size, he gets the advantage, gets you off balance, man. It's over. All right, Buck linebacker, Auburn's needing 2 to 3 guys in this class, currently have 0. They're anticipating Jared Smith from Thompson High School, Zion Grady. Auburn's still on him, although he just committed to Ohio State, and a few others. But Auburn really wanting to get at least 2 Buck linebackers. At the true linebacker position, need 2 to 3. Auburn's got 1, Jacaleb Falk. 4-star from Highland Home. Obviously, his brother Keldrick already on the team, expecting big things out of him this year. At cornerback, needing 4 to 5 of them, got 3 committed right now. Devin Williams, Dante Core, and Donovan Starr are the commits there. Look to maybe add 1 or 2 more there.
All that tells, I mean, going through that, we've got a lot of work to do.
We do. Well, we only have a 14 commitments right now.
Yeah, needing to close. And, you know, I'll say this with the linebackers, you know, I hope we don't get in a position, and I don't think we will with this staff, but, you know, we'd always say that with offensive line.
Right.
And then Jason would come on at the end of the recruiting cycle, and he'd go, you know, we missed out on 6 or 7 of them, but, you know, once we missed out on those 6 or 7, we didn't have anybody that was slightly down from what we wanted there.
We
and
put
you
all
could
our
fill
eggs in those baskets.
You know, we're at a need time with our defensive side of the ball where you got to go out there and take some guys that maybe don't necessarily have an Auburn and Georgia offer unless you think you can go in the portal and do what we've been doing right now. That makes everything a little different, but I still know it's early, and I know that we're on after a lot of those guys and have never really understood living in the state of Alabama why we can't find those type of Bo's and Joes, because we breed them around here. We've got athletes that fit that mold, and we just have not done real well with that.
No, we have
way too long.
And the last position, safety star, need 2 to 3. Got one currently, Eric Winters. Very hot on Anquan Fagans, also from Thompson High School. Keep an eye on that one right there. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with you tomorrow for another edition. For Randy and Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We'll be. See you tomorrow.